Chiwendu thanked the foundation for sharing free books to the children and also encouraged them to do more. He also encouraged the pupils to take their studies seriously, that with the books shared to them, it will be very helpful to their studies.
I'm very excited. When I heard that your people are coming, I was overwhelmed, because I know that coming here will cushion the effects of the cost of education in the life of the parents of the pupils. An adage in our locality that says no okachako. No, just meaning that whomever eats his yam, that one is the highest farmer. So Aneke has remembered us. Aneke is the greatest. I'm happy with them, and I pray that God will strengthen them the more.
The school environment was filled with happiness as the book distribution continues. For Aneke TV, it's been Chiwendu Ifeonwankwo reporting.
Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, 042. It's exactly 9:30 a.m. right here in the southeast, and you're tuned in to Sunrise on Aneke TV, your favorite morning companion, and a daily dose of brightness. I am Aneke, and we're coming to you live from a studio here in vibrant Enugu.
And I am Faith Wins SZ. So whether you're at your desk, maybe in traffic, making breakfast, or just taking a moment to breathe, thank you for letting us into your space this beautiful Wednesday morning. And it's midweek, and we're here to refresh, inform, and motivate.
Today's Wednesday, the 30th of July 2025, and we're bringing you a full lineup of news, weather report, sports trending stories, and of course, that special sunrise vibe that gets you ready to conquer the day.
So get comfy, grab that cup of tea or coffee, and just let the sunshine in because sunrise is about to begin.
So coming up next is something thoughtful to shift your perspective and give your Wednesday a meaning. And that's definitely our quote for the day.
That's it. Straight into the day's top headlines in our news roundup. Everything you need to stay in the know, delivered clean and crisp.
We'll also give you a full weather forecast for cities across the southeast and beyond, so you know what to expect before stepping out.
And then it's sports time with the one and only Gideon, bringing us highlights and updates on all that is in the sports world.
And later we'll flip through our major newspaper headlines and wrap things up with some fun global holidays worth smiling about. All right, so let's move over. Let's begin with the quote of the day with some soul food. So our quote of the day comes from the ever brilliant Robin Sharma. And this quote says, "Don't live the same year 75 times and call it a life."
Definitely
It's
a reminder.
deep.
Yes,
It's
very
deep. I like the fact that Gideon wants to join us on the quote this morning. He was like, he felt that. Gideon, I think
know, right?
I think you have something to say. So go ahead. What do you have to say?
I'm still
Still
kind of
releasing.
processing it. I'm still kind of processing it because it's very deep.
Very
Yeah.
deep.
It's
So
very
it's just a reminder for us to step out of autopilot mode and then chase something fresh today, even if it's maybe a new attitude.
Exactly. So each new sunrise is an invitation to grow, try, learn, or simply be more present. So let us know what this quote means to you. Drop your thoughts on Facebook, X, Instagram, or right here on YouTube, all at Aneke TV. We'll go on a short break and we'll return with the weather update.
You're still watching Sunrise on Aneke TV, and let's take a look at today's weather across major cities in the southeast. Let's begin with Enugu. For Enugu, expect cloudy skies this morning with light rain expected by late afternoon. Highs of 28 degrees Celsius and lows around 22 degrees Celsius.
And in Oka, it's going to be a mostly dry day with scattered clouds, so expect highs of 30 degrees Celsius. Stay cool and stay shaded.
Abakaliki is going to be sunny and bright till about 4 p.m. Then some light showers, temperatures ranging from 24 degrees Celsius to 31 degrees Celsius.
And for Owerri, it's going to be overcast with chances of drizzle by evening. Not too hot, but around 27 degrees Celsius at peak.
Umahia. For Umahia, expect cloudy but dry with some mild humidity. Highs of 29 degrees Celsius. Not too bad for a midweek hustle. And that's it for weather updates. don't forget your umbrellas just in case. And up next is our time for sports with the man himself, Gideon. Stay connected.
All right, still here on Sunrise on Aneke TV. And guess what, my sports lovers? It's time to get the ball rolling. Quite literally with your sports segment. Gideon, what's hot on the field today? Good morning.
Good morning, Amaka. Good morning, Faith. It dropped to the quote. Kind of rekindled my memories.
Yeah, obviously.
Every amber is in my body.
Aww.
I think people are actually afraid to do a new thing.
Yes. People are actually scared of trying something new.
Yeah.
They are used to that cycle,
The
doing the
whole
same
cycle.
thing over and over and over again. And this fear of coming out and doing something that has never been done before.
Yeah.
It's just
All right. Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, sports lovers. Just to do a different thing again, Nigeria contingents participating in the ongoing Made in Africa School Sports in Annaba, Algeria, has opened their medal account yesterday in badminton and 3x3 basketball events. But unfortunately for them, we're expecting them to finish with gold, but both events actually finished silver for Nigeria. In badminton, Nigeria, got defeated by the host Algeria in badminton, and Nigeria got silver, while Algeria, the host, got gold in that particular event. But in 3x3 basketball, Nigeria featured against Rwanda, and it ended 11-12, not in favor of the contingent. It's actually a very good opener for Nigeria in that particular event, but we are expecting Nigeria to do so well in track and field, which is expected to start on Friday. But for the silver handing, we saw the Olympic chairman, Habu Gumel, handing over the silver medals to Nigeria athletes that did well in badminton and also in 3x3 basketball. Now, away from there, let's talk about the women Afro basketball that is taking place in Ivory Coast. Today, those that have qualified for the quarterfinals, the likes of Nigeria, Mali, Uganda, and Ivory Coast, will be knowing their opponents later today as the playoff will come underway in Ivory Coast. For Ivory Coast will be waiting for either Senegal or Rwanda to know who is going to be their opponent. And for Mali, they'll be waiting for either Mozambique or Guinea to know who is going to be their own opponent in the quarterfinals. And then for Uganda, they'll be waiting for Egypt or South Sudan to know who is going to be their opponent in the quarterfinal. Then Nigeria, they are already standing by to know who is going to win between Cameroon and Angola, to know what is going to who they are going to face in the quarterfinals. Remember, Nigeria are 6-time champions in that particular tournament, and it's just the 27th edition. So it's looking good for them to win the championship. But let's see how it pans out for Nigeria, the Tigers. Remember, the Tigers also waiting because their own edition will be coming up later next month in Rwanda, where they are due to face some serious teams across the continent. Now, away from there, let's talk about Chan. Chan will be starting on Saturday. The Nigeria contingents, they are in Zanzibar. They are preparing so seriously. The last match they played on Monday was goalless against a Zanzibar team. And I know by tomorrow they will be ready to leave for either Kenya, Uganda, or the next country that will be hosting. It's just a triple country hosting this time around. So we'll see how it's going to be. Nigeria, Chan, they've already been making so much noise. They are in high spirits. They've never won this particular tournament for the first time. And they are due to play against Senegal, the defending champions in the group stage, which is also a very strong group for the Chan team. I don't know how it's going to pan out for these guys, because they really need to do a lot, to make sure they win this particular tournament. A lot of logistics have been put in for these guys to get prepared. Remember, they left Nigeria a week ago for Zanzibar. They've been in Zanzibar for a week now, and they'll be playing a lot of friendly games, to get them charged up for the tournament that is going to start on Saturday. I know on 5th they have their first campaign against Senegal in their group opener. And one big interesting thing about this Chan is that CAF has increased the money prize. Now it's no longer 2 million that Senegal won in the last edition. For the winner now, you'll be getting 3.5 million US dollars. That's for the winner. And the runners-up will be getting like 1.2 million US dollars. The third place winner will be getting 700 US dollars. Fourth place is $600. And the interesting thing is that all the participants, participating countries, they are going to go home with something. Either you go home with 200,000 or you go home with 200,000. Everybody, they are all accommodated in the prize money. It's a pool of 10.6 million US dollars. How they calibrated it is CAF wisdom that every participating team will be, going home with something. Musefe, who happens to be the CAF president, said this money is just to increase the quality of the tournament and also to encourage participation from African countries, which is also a very big one for Nigeria. Then on athletics, we have the AFN said the trials will be taking place in Yaba Sports Complex in Lagos. It's going to start tomorrow. All Nigerian athletes across the globe will be arriving. Tobi Amosun is already reported to be in Nigeria and in Yaba training yesterday. So reports said they saw her training. This is a 100 meters world record holder. So she's already in Lagos preparing for the trials. Remember, these trials is just to get qualified athletes that represent Nigeria in the 2025 World Athletics Championship, as built to take place in Asia later this year, in September. Later this year. So it's a very big trial. Even though we've gotten those that have already qualified, the likes of Tobi Amosun, she has qualified, but she needs to be there to be a wild card in that trials, at least to encourage others. But some events like the relay events for Nigeria, we've not gotten qualified teams already, yet. So they will be doing their best to get qualified and then pick their tickets to participate in the 2025 World Athletics Championship that will be taking place later in September. Now, finally, on club news, Victor Ugres is on the news again. Now, this man, after Arsenal paid an initial amount of 65.5 million euros on his head, his jersey is selling like wildfire. Now, the report says that in recent times, no jersey has sold more than his own, and they are likening him to record held by Bukayo Saka, Martin, Odegaard, and also Declan Rice, which is also a very big one. Now, some people will be asking, what's so special about this particular jersey. Remember, jersey number 14 for Arsenal was won by Thierry Henry, one of the ancestors. I call him ancestors of Arsenal. We cannot talk about Arsenal without talking about the French guy, talking about Thierry Henry. So, Victor Ugres is one man that is reigning in Arsenal. He has since joined them in their Asian preseason tour, and we want to believe that when the league starts, the English Premier League starts in August, that it's going to be another special outing for the Arsenal boys. And for the Arsenal fans, even though they are not optimistic, because every season Arsenal will start well, and then before you know it, in the second half of the season, they will sleep and break a lot of their fans' heart. But let's see how it pans out for Arsenal in the season. Victor Ugres is actually doing us proud. And for Lookman, Inter Milan is raising their stake to steal him away from Atlanta. Remember, Lookman was the man to watch in 2024 Europa League, where he scored hat-trick to give Atlanta that title. Now, Inter is trying to buy him over, but the money offer is not actually going well with Atlanta, and they are raising their stake to make sure Lookman comes over to San Siro, their home ground that is in Italy. But let's say advance out. Well, make sure you join me again by 11:30 for a more detailed one. Just what I have for you on sports update. Back to you, Faith and Amaka.
Well, the part I actually enjoyed was, our Super Falcons just ended up with their 10th WAFCON title.
Yeah.
And now the Tigers, they are on to their seventh,
Seventh,
sorry.
actually.
So just imagine they come out as the champions this time around. So it's just the women making us proud.
Yeah, it's been the women. I don't know whether July is special. We've seen a lot of birthdays, and women are actually taking over July. Maybe we'll call it Women July.
Women July.
Women
I like the fact that
Nigeria
women
July.
actually now coming out and saying, okay, yes, we can.
Yeah. I took I listened to Rashida Ajibade in his vote of thanks during their reception, and I listened to him. One of the lines, he said, "Their victory is for the girl child in the grassroots like community, and those people that will not cease to dream." I think for the Tigress, they should complement that statement, coming back with a trophy.
Yeah, exactly.
They are six-time champions. They are seen as a bigger team in basketball when it comes to Africa. Fortunately, Senegal is still there. They are the defending champions, and they will be playing against, if they win Rwanda later today,
Yes.
they will be playing against Ivory Coast, the host. So if Ivory Coast we beat them in the quarterfinals, that means Nigeria have the chances of progressing to the final. And remember, if Nigeria gets to the final, it's actually a win. Even though they lost to Senegal in the last edition's final, but I know they are not going to lose again.
They shouldn't lose, please. We need that trophy back.
Sure.
All right, Gideon is always on fire
Of
with
course.
updates. Thank you, Gideon, for that. And we'll go on a short break now. When we return, we've got your newspaper review and headlines. Stay connected.
The red cap is a powerful symbol of authority, tradition, and chieftaincy. It signifies leadership, cultural identity, and a connection to the ancestors. The red cap is primarily worn by men who hold traditional titles such as Nze, Ozo, Ichie, Chief, Onyish. The number of eagle feathers on the cap can denote the wearer's status within the chieftaincy system. The red cap comes in different shapes, and each shape represents a particular hierarchy in the traditional institution in Igbo land. There are two types of kola nut produced in Nigeria: kola nitida, otherwise called goro, and widely eaten in northern part of Nigeria. Kola acuminata, also referred to as Igbo kola, is of local origin and occupies an important position in social, religious, and sacred ceremonies in Igbo society. It is seen as a vital and sacred fruit in Igbo land and serves as the major instrument of prayers connecting the ancestors. It cements discussions and also the fundamental bedrock of philosophy and proverbs. It is a symbol of welcome, unity, and peace. If kola nut contains one cotyledon, it is regarded as dump kola nut and thrown away. Kola nut with 4 cotyledons represents the 4 Igbo market days: Eke, Orie, Afo, and Nkwo. If kola nut contains more than 6 cotyledons, it signifies blessings and wealth, and it is celebrated. There is also another type of Igbo kola nut called Ojugo, which is referred to as the king of Igbo kola. The reproductive organ of the kola nut is referred to as the tongue, and it is removed after prayers and thrown to the spirit of the ancestors.
Ndụ a na-atọka onye anabara nke ya na ụlọ agwọ ibe anyị adị nọ ogologo ndụ arụ ike na ọdụmma ibe eji ene ndụ anya na onye nwere ibe eji ene ndụ anya na-elufụta nwụrụ ya ịmara na nsogbu rere ya Olise bụ anyị na-ekene gị Chukwu okike onye ogologo ndụ na ogologo anya na-ahụ ndụ na ọchịchị anyị na-ekene na-ekene maka tata na-ayọ maka echi maka na ọsọ maka eme echi anya mara na anyị adị ka echi na echi anaghị agwụ agwụgwụ na ihe ya adịrị anyị mma ndị be anya onwekwana ihe ọzọ na anyị enye ndị ichie tipụtara anyị na-ere nke
You're still watching Sunrise on Aneke TV, and right now it's time for us to go see what the dailies have for us this morning. So it's a newspaper review segment, and we'll be looking at the headlines on the Daily Trust newspaper. So I will start with the banner headline. It says, ACF says, North sidelined as Tinubu's men showcase projects. ACF says, North sidelined as Tinubu's men showcase project. And this is like the ACF, that's the Arewa Consultative Forum. They actually raised concerns over the alleged marginalization of northern Nigeria in federal budget allocations and the infrastructure development under the Tinubu's administration. So they are more like they are being marginalized, and they are not being put into consideration based on all the allocations that the present administration has been dishing out to. Well,
I'm actually very surprised that this is coming from the Northern Consultative Forum, Arewa Consultative Forum. If you check, the North actually gave Tinubu very big support in the 2023 election, and they have the vice president from the North. So all of a sudden, the Arewa Consultative Forum are just coming up crying foul of marginalization. The Southeast also, I don't know if the North will be crying out marginalization. What the Southeast will be doing, if you check the appointment, find out that even the national appointment in Nigeria, if you divide it, you find out it is just the West and the North taking fair share of the appointment.
Yes.
Now, if they are crying that in allocations that the central government is marginalizing them, then that means Southeast will be willing. So this time around, I know political games are brewing ahead. The North, maybe they have a plan. Maybe it's a way of speaking against the central government.
Yes.
But remember, it's normal. Oliver wants some more. Our needs are insatiable. You know, if you give the North the whole Nigeria allocation, they'll still cry for some more. You know, they will also want African budget to be given to them. So the more you cry, the more people hear your voice, and maybe some bites will be given to you. But I know that they've gotten more appointments, more allocation has been given to. I've not seen any. Rather, the Southeast should be the one crying foul here that they've done appointment. In fact, the recent appointment for directors of some parastatals, they were all Northerners. To the extent that the one given to one Babangida's son, he rejected. You know, so I think the Northerners, they have a plan, or moreover, they have what they are clamoring for.
Exactly.
But this is, I don't think he holds water. Anybody can argue. It's arguable. He doesn't hold water that they are being marginalized of allocations. I think by appointment, by budgetary allocation, by
there's no form of marginalization
there's no
going
form of
on.
marginalization. When you've gotten so much appointment, what else?
That's true.
And you have your son as the vice president, the second man, the second citizen in this country. I don't think you're marginalized. Unless they are trying to tell us that the vice president is sidelined.
I guess they want more.
Yeah, I guess they want more.
They want
So
more.
it's not out of place to start shouting that they are marginalized.
Because I think there was a meeting yesterday where they were complaining of the fact they were asked to wait until 2031 because they were complaining about rotational governance, and they were of the opinion that that they haven't gotten any role as that they haven't been rotated yet, or the rotation hasn't gotten to them, and they were told that you people have to wait until 2031 before you people can come in as president or anything. So it was a lot of arguments. It was a lot of arguments.
The funny thing about this argument is that what is the marginalization? They said Tinubu men are showcasing projects.
Of course.
And they have Tinubu men in the north as governors. Governor of Kaduna, Sani, for example, is just a Tinubu man, is APC. So if they fail to show projects, that doesn't mean the federal government is marginalizing them.
Of course.
I think the governors should show full working. Like in Southeast, where the governor of Abia State, you know,
Alex
Oti, is showing full working.
Of course.
Like in Bonny State, where also the APC guy, the governor of Bonny State, is also he's also showing full working.
Of course.
You know, this
Even
man just finished renovation or rehabilitation of their airport. You know, he's showing full working. And also road construction, a lot of things he's doing there.
of
He's showing
course.
full working. And then when you go to Imo also,
Hope
you
Uzodinma
have Hope
also.
Uzodinma, who has all invited president to come and commission some projects. Even in Enugu,
Yeah, in Peter Mba, of
Peter
course.
Mba was also
The other day, the
invited-
first lady was here to commission some
commissioned
projects.
a technical education
Yes.
project. Now, Tinubu also came to Enugu to commission the ultra-modern parks.
Yes.
And also the International Conference Center. So if your governor is not showcasing any project, that means they don't want to do it.
Yes.
And it doesn't mean that the federal government is marginalizing you.
No.
So you have to do some work. Unfortunately, what we see on pages of newspaper, even on screen, is some governors empowering their citizens with wheelbarrow, like what we saw with the governor of Benue State. My anger is that this man was the Reverend Father, somebody from the religious environment. You know, how can you be empowering people with wheelbarrow? Is that how to empower people? And they are killing your citizens on a day-to-day basis in Benue. You know, the food basket of the nation. I think how you empower these guys is to, you know, give them modern farming implements.
Of course.
Modern
Maybe
farm
wheelbarrow
implements,
to carry
you know?
cassava after.
Sure. And also to give them security.
Very
so that
important.
farmers can go back to farm and people will have food to eat. You know, so it's quite unfortunate what we are seeing from governors in the North Central and in Northeast and Northwest. So the Arewa Consultative Forum should do an internal meeting, should go home and call their governors and all the federal government appointees that are their children and their members to a meeting. You know, hold them accountable. You know, what I call audit them. It's good to audit them. You know, tell them that these guys, this administration will soon round up its first term. What do we have to show being part of it for giving them so much support in 2023? In fact, the rumor is that they will not support this administration in 2027.
Oh.
We are still waiting. We have our fingers crossed.
Let's see what's going to happen.
what
I keep
the
saying
drama
it that
unfolds.
this 2027 election, it's going to cause a lot of dust.
Most of the members of Arewa Constitutive Forum are dumping APC. They are dumping APC for other parties.
Yes.
And now we've seen another structure in APC. They are angry. They said they will soon move. That's
wow.
the Buhari structure in APC. They said they will soon move. So that means the North, they have something cooking. But I know in the coming days, coming months and years, we'll see the outcome of whatever they are cooking.
All right. Okay, so let's take some of the riders still on the Daily Trust newspapers. The next one I have here is 25,000 nurses begin strike today. 25,000 nurses begin strike today. I know before it was the medical doctors who said they would go on a 3 days warning strike, and I don't know what happened behind the scenes, and they called off the strike and said it wasn't going to happen again. But the nurses, these ones, I will speak it in Igbo, these ones decided to quit Cherry. They said no way, because they said they gave the government 15 days ultimatum. So the 15 days ultimatum came to an end, and they said even if the government calls for a meeting, that they will complete their strike.
Yeah,
I was
that's the
like,
part that actually struck me. Like,
I said these women are really alpha. I know that there are male nurses, but I think this one is the women that decided
It's
to
terrifying.
do something else. Because how are these women even supposed to cope? Like, they have asked and asked and asked for their allowances,
much all
their
the
salaries in
nurses.
arrears, and nothing is being done about it. They said it's not going to work. This time around, they will have to speak up.
So I think it's not just a laughing matter.
Of course.
You know, for nurses to go on strike, and it's beginning today, you know, there should be an emergency meeting to forestall this strike of a thing today. You can imagine getting into a hospital without nurses. What would doctors do? That means they will use cleaners, you know, to do their duties. When the doctor is not there, the nurse is the assistant, you know, giving out drugs, giving out injections, carrying out the directive of the doctors written on files. And, you know, they are there to run the day-to-day activities in the hospital. Now, you enter a hospital without the doctors, without nurses. It's terrifying.
It is, and the thing is, within these 3 days, there will be a high recorded death rate.
Sure.
If time is not taken.
Definitely.
So I can understand where their anger lies. They give the government a whole 15 days. That's about 2 weeks and an extra day, including non-working days, and then nothing was done. So I can understand, but they should please remember the oaths they swore to save lives no matter what, so that we don't actually lose too many people. And I hope it's going to be a wake-up call. The thing is, remember, these men in politics, they barely even get their medical aids.
That is the problem. Exactly.
They barely care about what exactly is going on, you know, within the civilians. So this is an appeal to the nurses. Please temper justice with mercy.
First of all, we don't have money to travel to UK to get medical attention.
Yeah, yes.
The next thing, when people start dying, then the federal government will wake up and said there's going to be an emergency.
Emergency that never happened.
They went died,
they will wait until it's almost time for the strike before you hear emergency meeting, closed door meeting. That's what they call it, closed door meeting.
You know, when Buhari died, Tinubu said, because people started shouting, why will our politicians go to the UK and spend our hard-earned taxes on giving themselves good health care? And then Tinubu said in Abuja, the medical center in Abuja, there is going to be an emergency reconstruction rehabilitation. To date, nothing is happening there. Until people start dying across the states and counties in this country, there will be no emergency. There will be no emergency. People can no longer afford common health care. Common. This should be the basics. You know, apart from food, shelter, housing, healthcare. You can't even buy, if I tell you how much, I know a lot of people will patronize paracetamol, all this PCM, how much they have been sold now. These are things that you can get for 100 naira before. Now, 15 naira, 30 naira. Now, if you don't have 1,000, you can't get PCM. That's so appalling. I think Nigeria should do something. Like Faith said, we are begging on behalf of ourselves, you know, on behalf of ourselves.
Don't do this to us.
Please, nurses, listen to us. Listen to us. You know, don't go on strike. If they call you for a meeting, attend the meeting and then call off the strike.
Yes. So even if you want to strike, just strike a day. A day, but please, I don't know if people can quickly train 1 or 2 persons in case of emergency.
Because imagine nurses going, leave the doctors, but nurses. Those ones are the original caregivers.
Yes, they are. They are
the original caregivers. So, okay, so let's move over to more headlines, more riders, or the Daily Trust Yusufa. The next one I have here is something we all have been crying for. It's not just happening in Enugu State. It's happening in every part of the country. Now, this headline is why rent is increasing everywhere in Nigeria. What is going on with the house rent in Nigeria? Like, it's on a high. Even someone who wants to start life, you just imagine a single person wanting to start life on his or her own. That person can't even afford rent. You go out and they tell you, okay, how much is house rent? The first thing, okay, let's say the house rent is 250,000 naira, but you have to pay like almost $1 million for you to secure a house of 250,000 naira.
But yeah, the rent is crazy.
Really crazy.
And we know why rent is going up. The government, they know why rent is going up. Before, those days in secondary school,
yes,
used to have government-built, you know, low-cost housing. You know, where railway, coal miners, they have their house, they have structures for their staff. even almost all institutions in Nigeria, they have structures. And now staff don't need to go. What they do is they take some stipend, small money from their salaries until Obasanjo came and did brought up this policy that the one you have, you just pay off and take the house. Now, the cement is expensive.
Very expensive.
You know, building materials are very expensive. If government will subsidize cement in Nigeria, I know rent will come down. You cannot be buying one bag of cement 11,500, and you know how many bags of cement you use to build your house. And finally you come and rent for maybe a 2-bedroom flat 200,000. It's not possible. Anybody building is to make profit on rent.
Yes.
Except government will take it upon themselves to build low-cost housing and make it put it in a social welfare that their workers, you know, they will be collecting small amount of money like on mortgage. A lot of us are on housing scheme this, and they've been collecting money, cutting, and to date we don't have anything to show for it. Even if it is one room or even a store, some people will retire and they will not have even one room to themselves, and they've been contributing to housing scheme. Finally, when they come out, how much is that? They pay them 200,000. That's the total money
they have been contributing for how many years?
Away from the price of rent or the fare that we have to pay for rent, should we talk about agents?
That one?
Yes.
That is another one.
That part is crazy. You know, from the angle Gideon spoke from, I understand the cost of building a house is expensive, is high and all that. But then let's say that your rent is supposed to be 500,000 naira, and then to secure the house you have to pay 1.1 million.
Yeah.
Why?
You know, unfortunately, I think Nigeria, Enugu State has taken a swipe on that. They have a law already that for you to be an agent, you have to register, and they've taken note of 10%. Because before now, if you want to rent a house, the agent will take 10% of the rent.
I know.
But this time around, it's no longer 10% of the rent.
They take the whole rent.
Yes, they take very
like 50% of the rent.
More than 50%.
50%.
And I noticed that now they no longer use agent fee. There's another name they've coined the name
lawyer,
to something else,
and then,
so that it still be on the same.
So this thing you said that Enugu government there's no implementation yet.
Yeah,
I can tell you for free.
Yes,
because people look for houses every day.
Sure.
And they are still complaining.
So the thing is, you want to pay for accommodation or you want to pay rent, and the rent is 500,000.
Yes.
And you have that 500K. Normally, I think in Abuja they do the 10% thing, and that is working. To the best of my knowledge, I think the 10% thing is working in Abuja. But Lagos, Enugu, now you want to pay your rent and it's 500,000. I've saved up my 500K, and 10% is supposed to be how much? That's about
50,000.
Yes, and probably the landlord has caution fee now. You know, just to keep everyone on their toes. Understandable. And then you get an agent, and the agent tells you, yeah, you know, there's another agent that's followed me here. Mind you, before you go to get that accommodation,
you still pay inspection fee.
That's money you're talking about that the union of agents and all that have come together to agree is that for you to get a house in Enugu, you have to pay 10,000 naira to show that you're serious and you are not going to waste their time. How am I going to waste your time? I'm looking for a house. So how will I waste your time? I don't get.
And what's crazier is they would expect you to use drop.
Yes.
And then you're going to pay for each and every one of the, like, even if the man charges 10,000 or 15,000, you will pay.
And with all the attitude and all that. So I think we have to move for emotion, you know, and probably start a campaign online against agents for real, because they are greedy. They are so greedy. They should build their own houses and then put their rent, and we can understand that they are trying to make money, and not to extort money from people.
Yeah, it's more like money extortion.
But I think the landlords are also fanning their fangs. If you check most of these landlords, you find out they are culprits.
They'll tell you, go through my agent.
Go through my agent. That money, they also partake in sharing. In fact, most agents will tell you, don't worry. The landlord will collect agent fee. The landlord is the lawyer. The landlord is the agent. The landlord is everything.
That's because we have no regulatory laws. We have no regulation.
It is not about law. It's not about just making law. It's all about enforcing it, having a task force. Unfortunately, if you go to a landlord and you need a house, you go to a landlord and tell the landlord that Enugu State have a policy that you must collect 10%. Landlord will tell you, then I'm not giving you the house. We are asking Enugu State to give you house. So we are desperate. So what I'm clamoring is, let there be competition in housing.
Yes.
Because if we have so much housing, we'll have choices. You know, we have in Enugu, if the government led by Barrister Peter Mba, you know, will build low-cost housing, you know, at different crannies, we'll not have time to start chasing all those the capitalists.
Yeah.
You know, so what we'll do is to look at the low-cost housing and go to those ones you can afford. But when you depend on those capital, and who are they? They are also the politicians. These guys building are the politicians. So they cannot make laws or they cannot enforce laws that will be against them. You know, it's quite unfortunate that what we are seeing in so many of our states in Nigeria is a capitalist system of government where everybody is turning to become a sheriff. You know, it's quite unfortunate. We are just ripping each other off. There is no social welfare. You know, there is no human face to anything. This rent, if it continues like that's my worry. If it continues like this by next, a lot of people are going. There's going to be a very big exodus from the township. Most of them will go to the village. How much are you being paid for you to afford 1.1 million for a 2-bedroom flat?
And sometimes the houses are not even worth it.
When you don't have water, you have to buy water.
Do you know what is? Enugu houses are so substandard that
Sure.
you doesn't know that. Enugu house, the doors are not good. You live in a house and before you stay 2 weeks, the tap.
Yeah, so and for you to get a standard house, it's definitely going to be very expensive.
We don't exactly have standard houses in Enugu.
Let me tell you something.
Are you talking about Enugu? Have you tried Lagos?
In Enugu,
houses of 2 million.
But there is commerce there.
Lagos is better.
Yes, in Enugu, when you have a dominance of civil servants, how much is their salary? Most of the civil servants are state-owned state-owned civil service.
Yes.
Most times, most of them senior staff, they get 100,000, 120, and they have families, and you expect them to pay a rent of 700, 800,000. What are you preaching? That means these guys, they have to do another thing to make more money.
Yeah.
If not to steal government money, or they will abandon your job to do some job,
Do something else.
do something else that will fetch the money.
Yes.
So it's quite unfortunate. The government should rise, you know, and do something about it, or else that means they are encouraging illegality, they are encouraging criminality, because nobody can succeed and survive in this kind of crime when you don't indulge in something that is not correct.
All right, thank you so much, Gideon. Thank you, Faith. That was actually an interesting one on the newspaper review. We'll go on a short break and we will be back with Faith Wins to see the daily observances and daily holidays for today. It's still sunrise on Aneke TV.
This is still Sunrise on Aneke TV, and let's lighten up the mood today. Right now, on this segment, we will be discussing what the world is celebrating globally. Although today's version is a little bit emotional, yet very interesting. Today, the world celebrates Share a Hug Day. And yes, today wraps us in comfort and warmth because it's Share a Hug Day. And this started as a simple reminder of genuine heartfelt embrace, whether it's from a friend or maybe a family member, a co-worker, or even a stranger who just needs a little love. A hug can say what words sometimes cannot. And a little history behind this Share a Hug Day. On the afternoon of July 30, 2017, Mike Brundrit was driving home with his wife Lassie and their two sons in Ontario, Canada, when their vehicle was struck from behind by a transport truck in a construction zone on Highway 401. Tragically, Lassie and their eldest son, Callie, died instantly, while Mike and his younger son survived. That's very painful. That's really touching. So a tribute was born. As the first anniversary of the crash approached, Mike reflected on how often his family would hug, for greetings, saying goodbyes, or just to say I love you through a hug. He realized that hugging has been a core part of his bond with his family. And then on July 30, 2017, that's a year from when the accident happened, he started a post on Facebook inviting everyone to start Share a Hug Day in memory of Lassie and Kaylee. So his post on Facebook read, "Please go and hug someone today to help get this movement started." So his post quickly spread beyond Canada and sparked the annual observance. This is really touching. So that's why I said that today's version is going to be a little emotional yet interesting. I know a few people who like to hug. Myself, I'm not so much of a hug person. In fact, don't come too close. But I have a friend who can hug you 365 times in a day. Oh my god, it's so tiring. But I can understand. I think I'm going to give her a hug today. In fact, she's right here. I'm not going to mention her name, but she's right here. I'm going to give her a hug today. Because why this hug actually matters. Studies have shown that hugs release the oxytocin, and that's the feel-good hormone. That's the oxytocin, which lowers stress, it boosts mood, and even strengthens your immune system. I had no idea, I promise. So that's what the hug day is about. And a hug day may just keep the doctor away.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, because so it releases the feel-good hormone, that's the oxytocin, and then it helps you reduce stress. It actually helps you feel seen and connected.
Of course.
So ways to celebrate this holiday: hug someone you love and tell them why you appreciate them.
My arms are open. Who wants to hug me?
Anyways,
I'll hug you. One hug, babe. Giddy giddy. Do you want some hug? Or come, let me hug you from the side.
my problem is just the 45 degrees.
I know.
I love it. I love it when it
360
is 360 so I can get everything. So I can get everything. Growing up, hugging, we see hugging to be not so, we're shy.
Yeah, it was such a big deal.
It was such a big deal. But now we found out that hugging can cure stress.
Exactly.
And depending on the person hugging you, sometimes I wake up, I want a hug.
I know.
Yeah, sure. I want a hug. And when you get that hug, and you find out the release inside you, how the stress goes off. So it's quite important. In fact, I take hug to be better than a handshake. In this our climb, people prefer handshake.
Yes.
People don't want. But I know in those developed climbs, people prefer hugging. People prefer hugging. You know, when you go to Europe, you know, all those places.
I think it's part of their
And
greeting.
for France, you know,
France, they
Yes.
just give you kisses on the
They
cheek.
hug more. Nigeria should, because we have a lot of stress in Nigeria.
Really?
People should avail themselves for hugging.
In this part of the world, a lot of people see hugging as they see it as a sin or as a crime or as a form of cheating.
Like, is it necessary in my head? So I went to see my friend, where two went to visit her. We hadn't seen her in months, and she's like my closest friend, and then she hugged the other lady, our other friend. Me, I was just standing there, and she stretched out her arms, and then I hugged her, and she said, you they hug. I'm like, please, you guys should leave me alone. But yeah,
hugging is
I'm
very
going to
important.
hug today.
Yeah, sure.
So another way to celebrate this day is send a virtual hug via text, voice notes, or a video call. Or visit someone who needs encouragement. A hug could make their entire day. Or even hug yourself. It counts too. Because me, I'm going to hug myself.
I'm doing that already. I'm hugging myself.
Alright, so today, don't hold back that urge to hug or that urge to follow on this world celebration. Go ahead, give someone a warm hug, tight enough to transfer love, but gentle enough to say you matter. Sometimes a hug is all we need just to feel seen and supported. And if no one is around, like I said, wrap your arms around yourself and feel the warmth from you to you for you, because you also deserve it.
So Faith, please, there is a twist in my head. Like, men cannot hug men in Nigeria.
No, you people will have to learn it. You will have to learn it.
Like, you can imagine me hugging him.
Straight
Okay, I think I'm lucky. We have two ladies in the house.
No, let the men hug the
Our
men.
hug will finish. We hug all the men in the studio.
It's a hug day.
Please, Gideon, don't hold back. Hug that guy today. I don't know, that sounded off, but
I know, so I don't get a punch. What the
okay, maybe give him a pat on the back.
Okay.
I promise you, you might even hug someone you know that needs encouragement.
Yeah,
you
of
see
course.
him melt down.
You'll be like, thanks, bro. I really needed that.
I really needed this. Like, you just whisper it in your ear, so no one else will hear that.
Somebody will not be thinking another thing. Wow, where is this one coming from?
You tell them it's coming from a place of love.
I think hugging male in Nigeria is, even in Africa, is alien to us. We don't know that.
That's true.
We don't know that.
That's true.
But
this generation of men actually don't care. They actually don't care.
Alright, so that's it. And there are a lot of other fun observances today.
Yeah, just in case you don't know, today is World Human Trafficking Day. So
and
just
today is also the paper book day, where people read those very light kind of novels and all that. So you could actually check out other world observances and let us know which of the celebrations you would actually move with the flow or get into today. Are you going to be giving someone a hug, or would you be reading yourself a very good story? You could let us know all of your thoughts across our social media platforms: Facebook, X, Instagram, and right here on YouTube, all at Aneke TV. And that's a wrap on this midweek edition of Sunrise on Aneke TV. Thank you for waking up with us. It's always a pleasure with you every morning. I am Faith Wins Azzi.
And I am Amaka Niji. Join us tomorrow again on Sunrise on Aneke TV. And don't forget to follow us on all our socials of Facebook, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, all at Aneke TV. Bye for now.
ekene gị bụ onye ọma na-esonyela anyị. Ihe anyị bata n'ime tata bụ nzukọ ụmụ nwanyị. Ịma na mgbe ọbụla ụmụ nwanyị nzukọ ihe a na-akpa bụ maka ọdịmma ezinụlọ, maka ọdịmma ọha obodo. Na nke taa, ụmụ ihe na-echu ụmụ nwanyị ụla maka a sị na okenye ada anọ n'ụlọ ewu amụọ n'ọgbụrị. Onye akpata ụmụ nwanyị akachacha ụmụ nwanyị ndị nne ji wee na-eneba anya n'otu ihe na-echu ha ụla: ọzụzụ ụmụ anyị. Ọ gịnị ka anyị na-afụzi n'obodo ugbu a, akachacha n'ebe ụmụ anyị ndị nọ? Ị na-anya ọtụtụ n'ime ha amadị ha na-akọ ma otu. Ụfọdụ amaghị esi nri, ụfọdụ amaghị azụ ụlọ. Ịsụ akwa bụ nsogbu. Ama m na anyị ga-asị na ndị ọcha merie anyị maka na ha emepụtaghị ihe ọ ga-abụ ịchọkwudo ka esi esu akwa, ije pịa anya na foonu gị, ịpịa anya na ekwentị gị, ewepụtara gị ya. Mana anyị afụgo na ọ na-ebute nsogbu n'etiti ndị di na nwunye, akachacha ụmụaka anụcha dị ọfụ. Abụ m Ngozi Ọtahumere. Naanị ihe ị ga-eme bụ nọla na sonyela anyị maka na ndị mụ na ha na-eji ikwu okwu nke tata, ha kpọnyere akpọnye, ha kpọọ ka chinchin, ha gbanyere agbanye naanị, bụrụ ndị nne ndị eji ama atụ, bụrụ ụmụ nwaanyị eji ekwu okwu n'obodo. Akachacha otu onye n'ime nọ ndị nke a na-aba apụta ọsị ga-epụta itu yu, mana a sị m anyị eputukwenye etomi tata maka na onwekwu ihe mmel, mana onwekwu ihe imel eputu onye to you, nsogbu ga-adịkwalụ gị. Na Aneke TV ka anyị nọ ya, ka anyị tụọ alo otu ọ ga-abụ ụdị nsogbu abata n'ezinụlọ, amalụ na onwe otu e ga-esi wee mie, amalụ ka e ga-esi wee kwuo onye ukwu walụ ka ije wee kwuo okwuche. Dịka nsi wee kwuo ndị mụ na ha nọ n'izu a bụ site n'aka ekpe m, Barrister Chizoba Sandra Agbo. Barrister Chizoba Sandra Agbo bụ otu onye na ndị Police Community Relations Committee. Nya bụ onye na-ekpokọta ihe a na-eme n'ọwụwa anyanwụ, ya bụ South East Coordinator, bụrụkwa onye so wee kpokọta chịkọba Divine Sky Hope Foundation. Ihe ọrụ a niile na-emekwa bụ maka ọdịmma ezinụlọ, maka ọdịmma ụmụ nwanyị. Barrister Chizoba, anyị na-asị gị nnọọ na nke taa. Onye ọzọ anyị na ya nọkwa na nke taa bụ Lilian Agbo sokwe n'otu onye na ndị PCRC a na-ekwu maka ya. Ndị a amamọlụ ha na-alụ, ọ dị ala ha emechaa ha ga-akpọwala anyị ha na-alụ. Bụrụkwa Program Director, Healthy Society Care and Development Initiative. Lilian, anyị na-asị gị nnọọ na nke tata.
Eji nwanne m daalụ rie nne, ekene m unu.
Dịka nsogbu ekwuo, ihe anyị na-ene anya bụ ọzụzụ ụmụ anyị, akachacha ndị nke nwaanyị. M ga-ebido ebe ị nọ. Tupu anụ m ene anya n'ọrụ na-alụgasị n'otu a dị iche iche, ime anya ọ dịghị ka ọzụzụ anyị na-enye ụmụ anyị ndị nwaanyị kịta na o kwesịghị ọkọ na ọdabaghị ka ọ na ọbụghị otu esi eme ya.
Bụ ihe bara oke uru n'ezinụlọ, maka ndị nwoke chọọ ịgwa anyị bụ ụmụ nwaanyị okwu, asị anyị mama ga-azụghọ gị, mama ga-azụghọ gị. Ọ dịzị ka gasị na ọsọsọ nne ka ọzụzụ dụọrụ n'ezinụlọ, mana ọzụzụ a bịarụ ma onye nke nwoke ma onye nke nwaanyị. Ọsa na-asị a na-ebido n'ụlọ marụ mma pụọ n'ama. Nwatakịrị mgbe amụpụtara ya, mgbe ahụ nne na-enye nwatakịrị na-aṅụ nne ara, ọzụzụ ka a na-emekwa ya. Otu ahụ si nwaanyị si were tinye ọnụ ara n'ọnụ nwa kwa ọzụzụ. Nwaanyị ọ bụrụ na mgbe ahụ ị na-etinye ara nwa ahụ n'ọnụ, ị na-tinye ara gị n'ọnụ nwatakịrị ahụ, ma ị na-enye anya ọfụma, ịfụ na ọnụ ara ga-abanye imi. Ihe a niile bụ ọzụzụ. Mana mgbe anyị na-atinye ọnụ ara n'ọnụ, ị ga-agbado anya fụ na dị alora dazụ ọnụ ara ahụ bara nwatakịrị ahụ n'ọnụ ọfụma, n'ikuku nwata ahụ ọfụma. O nwekwara ụzọ ị ga-esi wee kuru ya. Ihe a niile bụ ọzụzụ nke bidoro na nwata. So ọzụzụ ọbụla kwesịrị ibido mgbe a mụtụrụ nwata. ịzụọ ya ka esi akụzi ka esi azụ ụkwụ na ezinụlọ ebe a mụrụ onye ka ezinụlọ si wee dị ihe niile anyị na-ekwesịrị ịbụ ọzụzụ nwata enwe na-eto wee na-agbagote oge nwata toro wee na-agbagote ọfọ bịata na ezinụlọ ọfụ na nne ya nọ na nne ya nọ na nwere ụmụnne ọzọ nọkwanụ na ndị abụ ụmụnne ya na ka ha si eme na be ha na ka ọ na-abụ chifu ụtụtụ ekpere ụtụtụ ụfọdụ ezinụlọ dị iche iche bụ chifu ụtụtụ onye ọbụla agbarụ maka nwoke pụọ nwaanyị agbarụ pụọ nwa onye na-ajụ ka esi eme mgbe ahụ etetere ụrụ ụtụtụ ekpere ụtụtụ kpa ọzụzụ eji echu eze ụtụtụ kpa ọzụzụ eji esie mmiri ọkụ eji asa arụ obi jesa nke nwaanyị ụmụnne ya arụ mama na-esi nri ihe anyị na-ebu ọzụzụ ọkacha n'ebe nwata nwaanyị nọ nwatakịrị nwaanyị mgbe nne onye nne nọ na kichin n'ebe a na-esi nri ọ ga-akpọnwụ nke nwaanyị bịa nọrọ bịa sụọrụ m ose bịa gweru m nka bịa mee nka kama ị ga-akpọ nwa gị nwaanyị Nkechi bịa nọrọ ịkpọ nke akpọtara akpọta nke a ha kpọtara akpọta ifu ọ pụọ echi baa be nwoke ọ bụrụ nwaanyị asachara ọfụma nwa gị nwaanyị ọ nọrọ n'ebe ọ nọ ọ na-emu nunu ka onye isi ezinụlọ pụta mana o si n'ezinụlọ pụta ọzụzụ ụfọdụ anyị na-enye kwesịrị ka anyị bido mgbe ahụ a mụtụrụ nwata ahụ ibido zụbịa ịmarụ nke a nwata ahụ ga-arụ nye ọ bụghị mmegbu ọzụzụ ọ ga-enyere ya aka mgbe ọ ga-eto ọ mara ihe ọzọ ọ mara ka ọ ga-esi nyere onwe ya
ka m bịa ebe ị nọ barista Chizoba ịma na nwatakịrị dị mma ọ bụrụ nna nwatakịrị dị njọ ọ bụrụ nne ọ naanị ndị nne ka ọ dị ala ịzụ ọ pụtara na anyị bụ ndị nne na anyị adago n'ọlụ anyị
nwaanyị ịzụ nwa n'ezinụlọ ọrụ dịara nwoke dịara nwaanyị ezu nwata ụmụazị n'ezinụlọ mana ọ bụrụ na ị na-anya ị ga-afụ n'ezie na anyị bụ ụmụ nwaanyị na ụmụazị ka anọ anyị na-afa ka anọ ọfụma karịa ụmụ nwoke ihe dịara ụmụ nwoke bụ chifo ha chọrọ nri ezinụlọ ga-eri wee pụọ onwere nwoke ya pụta ọ nọrọba n'ụlọ wee letaba ụmụazị saba ha arụ n'ebe ka ha si eme na ya ụmụ nwaanyị ife ya pụta anyị eruo fana ha na-eme ka ụmụazị si eme ihe n'obodo ịma na ị jụrụ m si m PCRC yes anyị bụ ndị Police Community Relations Committee anyị na-arụ na ndị polisi na-arụ anyị na ndị kọmuniti na-arụ so anyị na-achịkọ ha ọnụ anyị nwa nọ n'etiti bụ achịkọ polisi na kọmuniti ọnụ ewe nke anyị bụ na nke ndị ụmụ nwaanyị the women branch of PCRC si e na-eruchere anya wee sị ka ekepụta ụmụ nwaanyị yes ihe n'anya ifo that na ụmụ nwoke bụ ihe wọgụ a sị na ka e wee jebe ọ bụrụ nwoke pụtara n'ọgbọ wee na-anọ mana anyị wee sị na ụmụ nwaanyị ndị PCRC wee wepụta ụmụ nwaanyị na PCRC because gịnị maka gịnị anyị ma na ụmụ nwaanyị nwere ọtụtụ ihe anyị kwesịrị ime n'ezinụlọ gbasara ihe na-agabiga n'obodo kịta especially na South East anụ a na-ene anya na ụzọ adịghị agazi aga ịpụta ndị ntọrị atọrị gị ma ofu ihe mee mmadụ mụrụ ụmụazị na-eme ihe ahụ mmadụ mụrụ ndị criminals mmadụ mụrụ ndị na-atụtụ aka mmadụ mụchara ha anọ nwaanyị zụrụ ha so anyị wee sị ndị nwaanyị bụ eburu ha n'afọ wee zụọ ụmụ nwaanyị ọkwa nwaanyị mụrụ ndị na-ese ihe a na-esezi ese ụmụ nwaanyị anyị amaghịzi m ebe ha duzi anyị aga kịta maka ị na ihe na-eme n'obodo kịta ọ dịzie ka ụmụ nwaanyị nke ha ọkazi njọ wee dị ka ọ na-adịzi ka na ụmụ anyị bụ ụmụ nwaanyị na ọ dịzi ka ya na-enefurukwa n'anya n'ihe dịara anyị wee sị na anyị bụ ndị nne ga-apụta kene wee tinye ọnụ n'ihe gbasara nchekwa obodo a na-ekwu okwu ya maka na ọ bụ na anyị bụ ụmụ nwaanyị ọ bụ na ife mebe n'ezinụlọ ịchọọ ịmata n'ezie ka nwatakịrị si eme n'ezinụlọ ọ n'ebe nwaanyị nọ ịchọọ ịma because gị na nwatakịrị na-anọ o nwere ka o si wee kpagwa agwa dị agha nne na-ebu ụzọ achọpụta anyị wee sị ndị nne ga-eso wee na-ekwu okwu ihe insekuriti a na-agabiga maka na ha pụta anyị ama mbụ egbe anyị ama nji mma kama na anyị ga-eji okwu ọnụ wee chịkọtaba wee kpọnata ụmụazị anyị si ha nataba afụgo m ọtụtụ mgbe nwatakịrị ya eku na ọ chọọ ime ihe ọ sị gị na ya ka emekwa ihe dị otu a mana na mama ya na ọ bụrụ na ọ bụrụ mama ya amasịkwa gị ma ọ bụrụ na ọ bụrụ papa ya ọ fịara arụ nwatakịrị achọghị ime ihe ọ sị gị ma ọ bụrụ na ọ bụrụ papa ya mana oge niile ha ga-asị gị ma ọ bụrụ na ọ bụrụ mama ya ya ka emekwa ihe ha ịbụnat na nnukwu nne na-ewetu ụmụazị okwu nne na-achịkọta ụmụazị so ndị nne were anyị nwa bụ ndị nne were ọrụ karịrị n'ebe ụmụ anyị nọ karịa ndị nna n'ezie ha na-arụ ụkwa nke ha maka na nna anọrọ ya o nwere ọtụtụ ihe nwatakịrị ya eji ebe maka na ya na ndị nne na-anọ oge niile ha na-atụzi ndị nne egwu mana nwata papa ya abụọ bịa ọgbọ megazi na ha egwu aba ha arụ so ndị nne were nke ha ndị nna na-ewere nke ha mana ndị nne na ụmụazị na-anụ ọfụma so ọzụzụ na-ebido na nwatakịrị ihe a na-ekwu gender based violence ọ na-esite n'ezinụlọ.
ihe anyị na-ene anya bụ ọzụzụ ụmụ anyị akachacha ụmụ anyị ndị nke nwaanyị maka ine anya na ọtụtụ ihe na-eme n'obodo ọ dị ka anyị bụ ndị nne anyị na-agharịpụzi n'ọrụ anyị ada agharịpụkwa anyị na-anwakwa oke anyị ka anyị gbatịa ụkwụ ọ bụ na anyị gbatịa ụkwụ anyị nachite azụ nkata anyị ga na-aga n'iru chetakwa na ọka bụ na Aneke TV ka anyị nọ wee na-eneba anya n'ọzụzụ ụmụ anyị akachacha ndị nke nwaanyị. daalụ gị bụ onye ọma ka na-esonyela anyị ọkwa na Aneke TV ka anyị nọ abụ m Ngozi Ọtahumele ihe anyị na-ene anya bụ ọzụzụ ụmụ anyị akachacha ndị nke ụmụ nwaanyị maka na ọtụtụ ihe na-eme n'ezinụlọ n'ọha obodo kịta na-esite n'azụghị azụ mgbe barista na-ekwu okwu ọ sị onye ahụ na-atọ mmadụ ọkwa nwaanyị mụrụ ya onye na-ezu ori ọkwa nwaanyị mụrụ ya na ọtụtụ ihe ndị ọzọ na ajọ ihe ndị ọzọ anyị na-atinye ụmụ anyị na-etinye aka ya ọ bụrụ na nwaanyị ruo ezigbo ọrụ n'ezinụlọ efu na ụfọdụ ihe a ga-akwụsị m ga-abịa ebe ị nọ Odoziakụ William Agbo na mgbe ochie ụmụ ihe ndị be anyị na-ada emebe mgbe a nwaanyị rube oge ịlụ di akpọba anyị ofu ebe ụfọdụ Igbo na-akpụ ya iru mgbede mgbede ahụ ejezuo ya nye nne kụzieri ọtụtụ ihe akwado onye ka ọ ga-esi wee bụ nwaanyị ọ dịghị ka ụdị ihe anụnwa a na-eme ada emezi kịta otu na-ebute ụfọdụ ihe anyị na-afụ kịta.
Ngozi nwanne m nwaanyị ịmakwu na mgbe gboo o nwere ọtụtụ ihe a na-eme mgbe gboo mara ezigbo mma a na-azị emezi n'ihu kịta dịka iru mgbede ahụ ọ na-abụrụ nwaanyị chọọ ịga di abịa duru ya haziberi ya kụzibere ya nke a gwabi ya ka esi eme gwabi ya ka esi ebi gwabi ya ọ ga-abụ nke ọ ga-abụ ka ị ga-esi were n'ode ụkwara ka ị ga-esi banye nke a ka ị ga-esi mee nke a ọ bụrụ nwanne di gị mee ihe dị otu anyị ị ga-eme di gị gwa gị okwu dị otu anyị ị ga-eme mana kịta ihe gbanwere amụọ m ka m ga-asị nọ maka ihe onyonyo ka ọ maka ihe ụmụaka anyị na-afụcha na-afụ n'ekwentị anyị na-ejide ka ọ ga-asị nọ peer pressure ka ọ ga-asị ka ọ ga-asị na oke amamihe dị n'ụwa kịta maka na mgbe gboo ọ sọkwa ya bụrụ na amamihe otu ọbụla amamihe gị dị ị ga-ejikọnata onwe gị mana kịta onwe gị ga-esi wee bịa ịkpọ mmadụ ka ị kụziere ya ihe ọ ga-asị gị bụ ticha I know all
ticha nwa elekebe
ticha I know all
ka meta onwe gị
ka na-ekotegodo onwe gị onwe ka nwatakịrị si wee mejọ ma agwọ dị agha ifu ya dịka nwa gị n'ụzọ igwu ya okwu ebe a ka a ga-anọ kparịba gị ifu na dịka nwanne m nwaanyị barista Nzọba kwuru oke na ọrụ dị ọla anyị bụ ndị nne anyị nwere nnukwu ọrụ, ndị nna nwekwara ọrụ, mana anyị bụ ndị nne kacha nwee ọrụ. Anaghịzi akụzizi ihe ọtụtụ anyị kwesịrị ịkụziri ụmụ anyị, nke na-eme na ụmụ anyị banye na be nwoke tupu anyị ga-amụ ihe na-aga apụtago. De nwa nwere ndị nke bịara n'ebe m na-arụ ọrụ, mụ na nwatakịrị aka na-ekwu, ọ sị m anụjigokwa m, anazigọ m anụ, anazigọ m aga. Nke nwoke sị m, mami na nye m ya aka nye kachakwa nwunye ya, ọ sị ya na anazigọ m anụ, anazigọ m aga ebe ahụ ọzọ. Tinye aka juba dịka ihe melụ na oji sị na ya anazikwa anụ, gịnị melụ gịnị. Ofukwa na nke nwoke nọkọtakwa ọ na-akụkwa ya aka, nke nwoke na-akụ ya aka, nke nwoke na-adị emepe ọnụ, ọgwụ ya okwu adịghị agha ada emotional issue abuse. Nke nwoke bịa wuru ọnụ ọgwụ ya sị ya oge nọ na buru unu eji crayfish eji ofe yafozi ji anụ weti. Ihe dị otu a nwatakịrị a mepere si na di ya mepere ọnụ si ya na onwe ụbọchị a chọrọ iji plantain, enyecha plantain nya unere na akwa ka anyị rie ndị, na nwoke a ji ọnụ kọkọta ya were iwe wepụ si ya n'ime mistake mgbe ahụ ọ na-akọ gị ọnụ ahụ n'ife kwesịrị ị na-eri ya iri ketezie iwe wee ya apụọ. Ihe a niile bụcha ọzụzụ ekwesịrị inye ụmụ anyị, ma nwoke ma nwaanyị ekwesịrị inye ụmụ anyị ọzụzụ. Bịọsa ibido nwata nye nwatakịrị ọzụzụ otu o kwesịrị ịdị, mgbe nwatakịrị ahụ ga-eru mgbe ọ ga-agbara ihe ọ ga-agbara.
Ọ gbasara gị ọzụzụ bịara onye ọbụla, maka afụgo m ọtụtụ ndị nne ga-abụ onwe ka isi ekwudo okwu n'ụzọ, onye nne fụghị ọsị gị taa nwa mechie ọnụ gị, ebee ka isi wee pụta. Ọ bụrụ na ime onwe ka isi wee megherie ọpịa gị ya, ndị uwe ojii ama njido gị, ndị ọkaiwu ama ntụ gị nga, mana ọ dị ọzọ ka mgbe ahụ kịta. Mana ihe anyị na-eneba anya bụ ọzụzụ. Ihe nji wee jụọ ihe a bụ na ama m n'oge izi na ana Igbo kene na ama m na ana Igbo na ọzụzụ dịara onye ọbụla, ma ọ gbasata gị ma ọ gbasataghị gị, ọzụzụ dịara onye ọbụla. Maka afụgo m ọtụtụ ndị nne ga-abụ onwe ka isi ekwudo okwu n'ụzọ, onye nne fụghị ọsị gị taa nwa mechie ọnụ gị, ebee ka isi wee pụta. Ọ bụrụ na ime onwe ka isi wee megherie ọpịa gị ya, ndị uwe ojii ama njido gị, ndị ọkaiwu ama ntụ gị nga, mana ọ dị ọzọ ka mgbe ahụ kịta. Anyị wee na-achọ obodo emepego, anyị asaghị onye ọbụla. Obodo mepe anyị na-amụta nke ndị ọcha na-eme, anyị na-amụtakwa ezigbo ihe
na-emebiri anyị ihe biko maka na ihe na-achịbe nke ha bụrụ ife na-achị anyị. Obodo anyị were kọlchọ, ndị ọcha were kọlchọ, ọ ihe na-emebiri anyị ihe, anyị ji anyị ejepụta nke dị mana nke anyị na-ebunata ebe a, ma nke ọma ma nke ọjọọ a na-ebunata. Ndị ihe ọzọ na-emebi ụmụ anyị kịta bụ soshal midia. Ọnya na-egweri ụmụ anyị ka esi egwe ọkpụkpa, ọnya ma na-emebi ụmụazị anyị. Ịfụ nwatakịrị na-erube 10 years 12 years o buru Android, ọ na-ego data abanye na ma ọ na-afụ nke o kwesịrị ịfụ ma nke ọ na-ekwesịrị ịfụ. Ndị mmadụ ndị a obere ụmụaka ha fụchaa ha eje ka ha mee ihe ha fụrụ. Ọ maka ihe afụzi ụmụazị kịta a sị gị na ya chọrọ onye nke a ịfụ ya okebe ekike Beyonce, ya chọrọ ịdị ka Beyonce, ọ ihe ọ na-afụcha. Onye nke ọ sị gị na ya chọrọ ịbụ Rihanna, ị na-ebu Rihanna ịkpatabago ụdịka ego ọ na-akpata n'ime uche ya, ihe ọ na-eme ịgụbedi akwụkwọ ikechabede sekọndịrị skuul, mana ị chọrọ ịbụ onye nke a, ị chọrọ ịbụ onye nke a, ijiri okwu ya akpata ego ka o si akpata ego. Nenu ndị nna jụ bụ ndị nne mgbe gboo. Nne m bụ ije pụta inye ya ego, ọ na-amara ka iyi esi wee weta, ọ sị gị na ya dị ewe ọma nnata gị, ọ tiri kọọ akụkọ ofu ka isi wee were ihe ọ na-amara anya wee bata, ọ jụba gị ajụjụ ebe ka isi wee weta ihe a, and ọ ga-eshi ọnwụ ta egwu ya ebe isi wee weta ihe ahụ. Mana ndị nne kịta ha dị eme ya. Ị na-afụzi kịta anụwa nwatakịrị ga-anọ 16 years 17 years 13 years o buru ibu na anyị nwa bụ ihe na-eje kọt ekpebubedu ụdụka ụgbọala ahụ, ịfụ ya o buru ụgbọala agbata mami ya na-agba egwu, papi ya na-agba egwu, ị na-agba egwu, ị na-aṅụrị. Kedu ihe i nyere ya o jiri kpaa ụdịka ego ahụ? Kedu ọzụzụ i nyere ya o jiri kpaa ụdịka ego ahụ? Kedu ihe ọ na-arụ o jiri kpaa ụdịka ego ahụ? Anyị bụ ndị nne na nna, anyị adagokwu ya. anyị adaghị ya.
Anyị dakwara ya ọfụma gị bụ onye ọma na-enene anyị. O wee bụrụ ebe a ka anyị na-ekpokọta nke ụbọchị tata. Ihe anyị nele anya n'ime bụ ọzụzụ ụmụ anyị, akachacha ụmụ nwaanyị. Asị akwa na ada azụ nwoke, mana nke na-echu anyị ụla bụ na nwaanyị ga-esi n'ezinụlọ baa bụ onye ọzọ. Na mmechi okwu gị mapem ke ndụmọdụ ị ga-adụ onye na-enene anyị n'ime.
Ịbụ onye anyị na-eso anọ na ihe nzukọ ụmụ nwaanyị uruchi a. Ndụmọdụ m n'ebe ị nọ bụ kpọkọta ma nwa gị nwaanyị ma ndị nke nwoke nso, were akwụkwọ nsọ kụzielụfa atụmegwu Chineke na gboo, maka na ọnwa atụmegwu Chineke na gboo ọ ga-enyere ya aka ịma na ebu na chi bụ chi. Ọ ga-emeli aka ịma na arụ bụ arụ na mma bụ mma, nyekweli aka ịkpụkọta isi ọnụ wee barụ ezinụlọ n'obodo.
Daalụ rinne. Na mkpokọta okwu nke gị gee ndụmọdụ ị ga-adụ onye na-enene anyị.
Ndị na-enene anyị ekele m nọ na ụbọchị nke taa. Ndụmọdụ m ga-enye ndị nne bụ ha tinye anya n'ebe ụmụ anyị nọ. Nwatakịrị baa uru, ọkwanụ gị ka ọ bara uru. And o ruo echi, ọ ga-ekene gị ezigbo ekene. Oge n'anya fụbiga ihe oke. Ọtụtụ ụmụazị na-abụ ha konie ha si n'ọkwanụ maka na nne ha kụziri ụkwanụ ihe ya, maka na nna ha kụziri ụkwanụ ihe ya, n'ọkwanụ ihe ha ji wee daba n'ọnwụnwa. Ana ọ na-ebute ịkpọmasị, akpọ ndị nne ha asị, kpọọ ndị nna ha asị. Mana mgbe ị na-eme ihe ya nwa, ihe eche na ị na-emeziri ha, mana mgbe o ruru echi imerụ ihe ị kwesịrị ime n'ebe ha nọ, ha ya akpọ gị asị. Mana ọ bụrụ na ime ihe ị kwesịrị ime n'ebe ha, ọsọkọghị gị tie ihe, mana ha kunie bụrụ mmadụ, ha ga-eleta gị anya wee fụ gị n'anya, maka na ị gwara ha ihe ị nwere ihe ị kwesịrị ime, ịzụrụ ha ọzụzụ ị kwesịrị ịzụ ha mgbe ha pere mpe. Ka ọ dịrị gị na mma.
Daalụ rinne Barrister Chizoba Sandra Agbo maka isonyere anyị. Ama m na mgbe ọzọ m ga-akpọkwa unu ma ị ga-abịa. Daalụ Lili, onye nke m. Ama m na mkpọ ha anaghị mgbe ọbụla ị na-abịa esonyere anyị. O wee bụrụ ebe a ka anyị na-ekpokọta nke izu a. Ihe anyị lere anya dịka nsi kwuo na gboo bụ ọzụzụ ụmụ anyị, ọzụzụ dịalụ gị onye nne onye nna, mana nke na-echu ụla bụ nke nnezo, maka ị ga-ebido n'oge mgbe ị na-enye nwa ala wee zụrụ ya wee.
A non-governmental organization, Aneke Pascal Onyekake Foundation, has distributed free exercise books to pupils in Community Primary School 1 and 2 in Ozam, Amechi Dodo, Nkanu East Local Government Area of Enugu State, with an encouragement to the children to take their studies seriously. The serene atmosphere of the school was agog as the team arrived at the arena with over 300 children benefiting from the free exercise books. Speaking during the event, the program officer of the foundation, Obinna Obu, said the idea of sharing the books was to empower the children educationally. According to him, the foundation has put in place all the necessary measures to support the development of education in the area. He said the foundation had visited and donated books to some other schools in Enugu South, Nkanu East, and Nkanu West local government areas.
We are here, which is part of our ongoing project, which cut across distribution of educational materials to pupils of rural schools located in rural communities. So we've covered other local governments. So this another local government, another school under Nkanu East, which we've covered today. And I think our come here was successful, though the rain tried to destroy, but to God be the glory, the aim of coming here was achieved at the end of the day.
As they are shared too.
Sure, it will be useful to them. It's obvious on the way they collected it and their countenance and their expression of joy and the collection. We believe that by giving them these books, it will help them to do their homework, assignment, and classwork, and then take their learning serious. Thank you.
3 pupils, Sarah Obase, Chimeremeze Goodness, and Ernest Igwe, expressed joy that their school was remembered and thanked the foundation for the gesture. pledging to take their studies seriously.
I am happy, and we are happy as people give us the exercise book of Aneke. Thank you for giving us. We are happy.
I want to say you people thank you for coming and sharing the book for us.
I want to say to you people thank you for coming and sharing book for us.
Speaking, the two headmistresses of the Community Primary School 1 and 2, Ozam Amechi Dodo, Mrs. Regina Ngozi, and Magdalene Ume, thanked the foundation for their humanitarian efforts by providing free books to the children, saying that the books will motivate the pupils.
All I have to say is thank you, Lord. We really appreciate your coming. We are happy. It's a real good. We are happy for the foundation have shared up to, let's say, 500 size books to the children. And children also, we are happy that they receive this gift from you people. We appreciate you and your foundation, and we pray that God will continue to guide you.
Even my purpose are excited. I appreciate you people for coming, at least to show us that this type of thing is in existence. Because if people are not here, we will not have known that you are in existence, that this such a thing is even in existence. So we appreciate it.
Mr. Levinus Ibuaba, an indigene of Amechi Dodo, thanked the foundation for sharing free books to the children and also encouraged them to do more. He also encouraged the pupils to take their studies seriously, that with the books shared to them, it will be very helpful to their studies.
I'm very excited. When I heard that your people are coming, I was overwhelmed, because I know that coming here will cushion the effects of the cost of education in the life of the parents of the pupils. An adage in our locality that says no yen lirijia oyaba okachako. No, just meaning that whomever eats his yam, that one is the highest farmer. So Aneke has remembered us. Aneke is the greatest. I'm happy with them, and I pray that God will strengthen them the more.
The school environment was filled with happiness as the book distribution continues. For Aneke TV, it's been Chiwendo Ifeonwankwo reporting.
The red cap is a powerful symbol of authority, tradition, and chieftaincy. It signifies leadership, cultural identity, and a connection to the ancestors. The red cap is primarily worn by men who hold traditional titles, such as Nze, Ozo, Ichie, Chief, Onyish. The number of eagle feathers on the cap can denote the wearer's status within the chieftaincy system. The red cap comes in different shapes, and each shape represents a particular hierarchy in the traditional institution in Igbo land.
Yes, dear viewer, many thanks for joining us on Aneke TV today. The program remains The Arena, and this is where we meet to take on issues, matters facing us as a people in society. So you're welcome on board. My name is Chris Anibo, thanking you for having joined us. Today, our train is headed to the health sector. It is World Hepatitis Day, and these are our own way of speaking to this health issue called hepatitis. And today, to help us do justice to this discussion, is a man from the medical world. Well, a lengthy profile he's got here. He is the first Vice Chairman, Association
of Professional Bodies of Nigeria, Enugu State Chapter, the immediate past chairman, Association of Medical Lab Scientists of Nigeria, Enugu State Chapter. But then he's coming from the University of Nigeria Teaching Hospital. He took us at Enugu here, where he's serving as the Assistant Director, Medical Laboratory Services. Dr. Ejiofor Mama, you're welcome to Aneke TV.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure having you.
You're welcome.
All right, let's the discussion on food. How much do you know about hepatitis? Well, Doc, it's for you to tell us more about it. Hepatitis. What is this one again?
Thank you so much,
What is this one now?
my uncle. Today being the 28th day of July 2025, the world is commemorating the work of an American physician and also a geneticist. He worked tirelessly to ensure that we brought an end to a disease we call hepatitis. And he went deep to find out that one of the causative agents of this hepatitis is hepatitis B. Yes, hepatitis B. He did not only discover it, he also developed a technique of diagnosing it. He didn't end there. He also went forward to ensure that it is preventable. Yes, by getting the means of vaccinating it. And the name of this person is Dr. Samuel Glover Barak,
okay,
an American. And he was born on the 28th day of July, 1925.
Oh.
And eventually died just a year when, after the World Health Assembly recognized his importance in medical field, because he also won a Nobel laureate. That was in 2010. That was when the World Health Organization, in collaboration with World Hepatitis Alliance, came together and said, okay, this man will have to come here on every 28th day of July. That was in 2010. So, but shortly after, fortunately, on the 5th day of February, 5th day of April 2011, the man passed on. And since then, we'll be commemorating this day. So, coming to your question,
yes,
hepatitis just means inflammation of the liver cells.
The liver cells.
Yes, when you hear the word hepa, it means liver. And when you hear the word titis, always whenever you see titis in medics, it means inflammation. And a lot of things can cause this inflammation of the liver cells. And one of them is these viral infections. Because when you come to this hepatitis, it can be grouped into two. The one caused by viral agents, and then the other one caused by non-viral agents. So those ones caused by viral agents can be caused by hepatitis A, hepatitis B, hepatitis C, hepatitis D, or hepatitis E. They are all 5 classes.
Okay.
And then the non-viral one could be caused by auto antibody.
What is that
But
supposed to
when we
be?
see auto antibody, like in layman's time, it means the system fighting itself. Just like a policeman that is hired to protect the citizens, suddenly tells you that there is accidental discharge. This could be caused as a result of genetic factors, or even the environmental factors we are facing can just trigger the immune system, and the system starts fighting itself, fighting the liver cells, and by the end of the day, there is inflammation in the liver. Another one that could be this non-viral cause is alcoholic. There's one we call alcoholic liver cirrhosis. For most people who are much dwell in consumption of too much alcohol, one who cannot stay without alcohol may have inflammation of the liver cell, which we call the hepatocytes. And by the end of the day, you find out such a person has inflammation of the liver cells. And apart from that, there are other conditions like medication.
Medication.
When you take some toxins, it also affects the liver cells. And if you are not careful, you might damage it beyond repair, unlike that of alcoholic liver cirrhosis, which when you stop, depending on the extent you have taken it, they could reverse. But when it comes to the toxin, as well as that of any poison, it can hardly reverse. And besides that, we have other agents like some of the drugs, like maybe even expired drugs, and that is why I always tell people, do not self-medicate. And when you take overdose of drug, it can also cause this liver cirrhosis. And some agents like most people who have the habit of when you put on a insecticide in the house, you enter there. It has the same features as PNC. So I'm just taking it one step after the other. You can get it from bodily fluid, from the woman, and the worst of it is that the mother can transmit it to the innocent unborn. Yes, and that is why it's dangerous. And then without all these things, people may not know. But my joy is that there is a system on ground to curtail this.
There is a system.
And when the system on ground will get out to the black prevention stage, we'll talk about that.
That's right.
So when we now talk of B and C, they have the same characteristics. You can get it from sex, you can get it from sharp objects. Most of these young guys that believe in or they belong somewhere, they belong in group because of initiation, they use the same sharp object to incise their whatever sign they have, the same sharp object. You could get hepatitis B through that. You could get hepatitis C through that. And also, unhealthy medical practices, if you don't really, take care of your syringes very well, maybe people who reuse syringe, but these ones are common with, these classes of people who belong to, the drug addicts, who take drugs.
When they inject,
inject, you drop it, your man will come and also use the same needle to pick the drug and inject. With that, you will be able to also get this hepatitis B. And also, I think apart from all this type of transmission is common. And also, another one is that we can get it from blood and blood products.
Okay.
Hospital, which I wanted to say earlier, if you are not following the medical procedure, proper screening of blood before transfusion, one could get it, even in blood product. And also, the health professionals are also exposed to that because by working, you may have what we call needle stick injury.
Okay.
Because of accidental prick of needle can get you infected.
That's now part of a work hazard.
Work hazard. And with that now, we now migrate to hepatitis D. The hepatitis D we are talking about is also called delta hepatitis. And
you call it what?
Delta hepatitis.
Delta.
Yes.
Okay. What does that? Whatever that means, anyway.
So, and also we call it a satellite hepatitis because it cannot stay on its own. It cannot stay on its own. It's dependent on the infection of hepatitis B. If you don't have hepatitis B, even if you are infected with D, it will not really be dangerous. It will not resort to disease condition because there's what we call envelope. It is hepatitis B that provides this wall for it, which we call envelope.
It's like a feeder.
So once it is not protected, it will not be able to live long. And with that now, you find out that it's largely dependent on the existence of B. And the good news about all this is that that one that is dangerous has a preventive measure.
All right, we're going to pause it there because we want to go on a very quick break. So that when we return, so far so good, we've been able to, lay the background to what hepatitis is all about. We've looked at the causes and the mode of transmission of this killer. But then when we return from this break, we'll be looking at symptoms, even mode of manifestation, and then what we need to do is that by preventive measures or even by curative measures. We're going to know all of that when we return from the break. He's still here with us, Dr. Ejiofor Mama. He's here to talk to us on what we need to know about hepatitis. Stay with us, don't go away. Welcome to Aneke TV, the heartbeat of culture, truth, and innovation. From breaking news to inspiring documentaries, from grassroots traditions, Mysteries of Life to Global Perspectives. We'll tell your stories. We amplify your voice and your vision. With every screen we light up, we connect, inform and empower. It's more than a television. This is Aneke TV. We move with the world. Okay, dear viewer, thanks for returning with us on the show, on the arena, on Aneke TV, as we are looking at hepatitis. Mind you, it is...
So the liver is the largest gland in the body. It's good to tell you that it is located at trans, just right upper quadrant, slightly, below the diaphragm, so on. So it runs this way and from here down, just like a wedge stretching from the right side down, the waist, and also provide some essential enzymes, and also when advanced case, bloated abdomen, fever, nausea, the